I just spent the last 3 hours going through Tyler Catastrophe's TikTok trying to find all the videos where he mentioned his paintings. Since I was looking at his TikToks for 3 hours, I don't think I ever want to see them again. So, from the title, you can probably see that I will be ranking all of Tyler Catastrophe's artworks. Not all of them. The ones on his website. Now, this first one is called At the End of Days. I'm gonna put that in That's Cool. Now, my problems with this one is the water is a bit strange, the anatomy of the person isn't great, and there's not really a visible horizon. The water just has waves and it kind of just stops. The grass isn't very detailed on the inside, but then the spikes of the grass are detailed. The idea is definitely there. On Tyler Catastrophe's TikTok, he called it incredible, amazing, awesome, and great. And he also said it was inspired by an Asking Alexandria song. And he didn't specify what song, but I'm sure if I knew who that was, I would be able to tell. Our second painting is Burning Brighter. I'm going to put that in I guess, bro. I'm not sure about the fire. The fire is a bit, not fiery. It looks very soft, if that makes sense. It looks very flat. The anatomy, again, on the arms, down the bottom here with the elbow area, it doesn't look very normal, and I understand that it's a cartoony style, but, it just kind of breaks immersion of this painting. It is called Burning Brighter, and I feel like the rainbow, the pastel rainbow around the figure and around the actual painting itself, it just kind of takes away from the fact that it's meant to represent someone burning brighter, metaphorically. The next one is called Candlelight, and this one is pretty infamous. This one, I'm putting it in I guess, bro, because, there's not a lot of shading. But the piece itself was a vinyl that had that pattern on it, and he said he definitely wouldn't be able to do that himself. The, what is it called, Pentagon is kind of over the top of this vinyl pattern, and you can see it in the red lines, and I'm not sure that's a great choice. I also don't get candlelight, because I understand that there's light coming from the candle when it's glow in the dark, but it's like Halloween and witchcraft. I think you could have went with a name that more represented that. Like, it also, I'll let Tyler Catastrophe explain it.
It does this.
Next one here that I have is False Distance. Now, I'm going to put this in That's Cool. I wasn't really sure on what this meant when I first saw it. But the figure in this painting is Clara Luper, who is considered to be the mother of Oklahoma's civil rights movement. That started in the 1950s, and from what I understand, the name False Distance comes from the fact that most of the footage from the civil rights movement was shot in color, then washed out to black and white, making the movement seem a lot further away in time than it really is. Now, color film came out in the 1930s, so there's a good 20 years, and it was very popular color film during the civil rights movement. Now, these bubbles, I didn't understand the bubbles. I don't know what they meant. Tyler Catastrophe explained them as false assumptions, I think.
But I ended up settling on these colorful bubbles here because, one, other thing that I do is film photography, and black and white film is kind of my thing. I love it to death. And colorizing photos that were shown in black and white isn't exact science. I didn't want the exact science. That's not the point of all of this. The point was to show that when you wash out all of the truth in the past, you make way for people to just draw their own conclusions, regardless of how true they may or may not be. I have no idea what color her dress was. I just like yellow, so now it's yellow. All of the decisions I made? Probably not true. Definitely not true, honestly. But who knows? No one said it wasn't.
I'm not sure that I like that as this piece. This was shown at an exhibition for Clara Luper, and the bubbles assumptions, I don't know how that correlates a lot. This next one is Just a Page, is the name of it. I'm gonna put this in I guess, bro, because I can see the vision, I can see what was being, what was trying to be made, but he explained it as there was a story behind it. Now I can see there's a person and it's outweighing a page, but that doesn't explain the story. What is that page? I don't know what the page is. Now, in my opinion, the story of this painting could have been elaborated on so much further if there was words on the visible pages in front of this, right? even if it was a poem, if it was, you know, a story, just something to elaborate on the story and what is actually happening. Another thing is that this perspective is not, like, the perspective is there, but it's not, like, correct. Like, the candles are sticking straight up, but the book is sticking face up. And then the weigher thingy is what I'm gonna call it, I don't know the name, is like, it looks like it's holding the book up, but you can also see the base of it. It doesn't look very correct. Next one is we're doing Just As It Was. From my understanding, this is based off of a picture where the stained glass in the picture is much more detailed than in this. The person in the picture looks like an adult, but in this painting it looks like a child. I'm gonna put this in yikes, because there is not a lot of pieces of stained glass in this painting. Like, in terms of, you know, the circle is one piece. It just, the stained glass looks splotchy. It doesn't really look like glass. You know, you could have had sun rays coming through or just something. I don't understand. I don't know what the name means. It's Just As It Was. I don't understand how that correlates to the painting. It could have been something to do with the actual photo. The next one is Long Live Ukraine. Now, this very good title, kind of gets the point across. The idea is very awesome. The flags in the back, they look really cool. There's almost all of the flags in the world, of all countries, whatever. He said that all of the flags took 2 days to make, every single one of them. I'll bring that back up later when we talk about something else. But anyways, pretty much my only thing is, like, why is the flag that material? Like, I understand that it's meant to be, you know, ripped up and whatever, but if you're saying Long Live Ukraine, I wouldn't do a ripped up flag. Like, I can understand, it's understandable, but I'll put it in that school because it is cool as a piece that is, you know, meaningful. Next one will be Not the Only Star. Now, I'm gonna put this in yikes. I don't like, you know, there's a star directly under the moon, and it just looks very out of place. You know, the shooting stars from both angles. He did say that there's actual star constellations in this painting. That's great. That's awesome. That's a cool thing to include. He based this off of a painting he did in high school where there was trees coming around in the center. And I feel like having branches just on the both sides would add a little something. Silhouettes of branches. I'm not sure. The next one is Shredded. This one, I would consider it. Now, it's pretty cool. There's not much of a message here. There's not much of a meaning. I assume that it was just done. He said guitar. He thought about a guitar and then did it. It is a very, you know, it is a piece that someone who likes music or guitars would get, I assume. No, because it's cool. Like, it's... Anyways, the next one we're doing is Take Your Bets. This one, I said that name so slowly. The cards, it looks a little bit unfinished. The hand in the background look like a colorblind test, and, you know, I feel like it's extremely over detailed. The hand is a cool element, but there is no contrast between the back and the background and the hand. It just blends in. You know, from where I am now, I can tell there's color there, but I can't see this hand. But you look at anything else, and you can kind of tell what the figure is that you can see. One of the things I do enjoy is the message that I'm getting from this. The title is sort of a quote. It's saying, take your bets. You know, that's not what I would say, but it's someone, you know, the cards are degrading from the left to the right, where one is a 10, but only has one spade, which doesn't make much sense. But it's like, you know, just the outline, and then you get to the other side, it's like a very shaded onion, and the cards still look a little bit unfinished, look like they still haven't have the sketch lines from them, and the X's, I'm not understanding the X's, just makes it look unfinished. He said that each of the cards took 3 days. Each singular card, there's 5 cards, and they took 3 days each, and that's 15 days. That's 2 weeks for 5 cards, when all of the flags in the Ukraine painting took 2 days. It's hard to believe him. I don't understand that. I'm gonna put that one in, I guess, bro, because it is cooler than these two, in my opinion. The next one, this is called This Is Paradise. I don't understand the name at all. I'm not sure what is paradise. It's a very cartoony face, and he said that that's kind of his style. Again, I don't understand the name. The tears, they look very artificial. What I would have done is make them come like actual tears from the center, or make them go downwards instead of, outwards. I think the pupils should be black, like just the pupils of the eyes should be the black part. And the Cupid's bow in this painting is something else. I've never seen that before. I'm gonna put that in yikes. That is also going to be, we're not going to move on from This Is Paradise yet, because Tyler Catastrophe recreated this painting. This is not up for sale. I'm going to put this in That's Cool. I can appreciate it. I don't think I would look at it and say, hey, that's cool. I would probably think in my head, like, that's an alright painting. This is exactly what I think should have been changed. But the beads are cool. There is beads that the whole thing around the border is beads that were painted, and the tears directly down looks much better in my opinion. The eyes, you got the pupils being black, much better in my opinion. It's overall a much better version of the original painting, so I'm putting it in That's Cool. And that is the only painting that isn't on the store. The next one is To Fly and Fall. Now this, he has said, is Icarus. I'm going to say by far this has the best anatomy that we've seen in these paintings. I do like this little hidden hand up the top. It's kind of like God's hand or something. In one of his videos about this painting, he said, I'm so good at hands. Well, zooming in behind him of both hands, he showed. I would say they're mediocre. I don't think they're the best hands ever. They're not like detailed, but in a cartoony style, they are good hands. So I'm going to put this in That's Cool, because I would look at it and think that's cool. Our next one we will be showing is Trapped. I'm going to put this in yikes, because I don't like, it's symmetrical. I like the symmetry of this painting. And I like that we've got this red flower on both sides and everything else, the two blue poles on both sides. It does need a lot of shading. It looks very flat. Other than the extreme amount of stuff going on, it's an extremely flat painting. This black stuff, I don't know what this black stuff is. It's like tinsel that you would put around a Christmas tree, but it's black. And what is the lock actually locking? What is we trapped from? It kind of just looks like it's between two poles. I'm not sure I understand this painting, but whatever. The next one is Trauma Response. Now this one, I don't want to like make fun of this one or anything, because the name is Trauma Response, so maybe Tyler Catastrophe was going through a hard time when he did this painting. But I will say that it can go in, I guess, bro. I will say that when doing abstract art, you need to really be careful of how you distribute the weight. It is very heavy in the middle of this painting. There's almost nothing up the top. Looking at it from where I am now, it looks like there is something actually happening inside of the painting. When you take a close look, it doesn't really. But from here, I don't think that it should look like that. It's very heavy down the very bottom, in that center bottom, and I think it says no right there. And then it's a little bit lighter in the middle, and it's just extremely light up the very top. And another thing, the piece of green. I don't understand the piece of green. I feel like there should be green in other places. Abstract art should use repetition. The green in one spot, I don't understand it. Our next one, we have Edit the Sad Parts. I'm going to put this one in, I guess, bro, because when I look at the sad parts, in quotes, they look very similar to the other parts. The drips from the top and bottom are cool, going opposite directions. The composition it's pretty good, and I understand the message, but I think it all looks kind of similar in terms of trying to be editing sad parts. Our next one is Guide Me Home. I'm putting this in yikes because I have no clue what's actually happening. It is extremely heavy on the bottom. There's a lot of one color on the bottom. I do like the bottom, this black on the bottom. It has a very cool technique. There's the one bit of pink, but you know, this, I think that there's trying to be something, like it's a pathway to home, because the name of it is Guide Me Home, but I'm really not sure. I can't really tell. Our next one is I Saved Myself. Now this one, I would consider this one. I don't think I would end up getting it, but I definitely would consider. I think it's very cool. It's very cool looking. I hope that is a spade symbol. The weight is distributed very well. I think this symbol in the middle makes up for the surrounding yellow border. The lines, they're a very good way of doing leading lines. Definitely makes you look to the middle. And on that note, I will say that it does make you look away from the bottom right and top left, which are a bit overly done. You should feel a rhythm instead of taking time on specific areas. The next one we will be doing is In Plain Sight. I'm going to put that in. That's cool, because I do like this. I think it is distributed extremely well. It has, you know, very good repetition. All the colors are used. Again, I do like this border on the outside where the colors, you can see the, you know, spirals of these colors being placed around. Very good. I would put this up on my wall. It'd be a good wall filler, but I wouldn't put it up there as a centerpiece. I think it would just fill a blank wall. No, it does look nice. I like the contrast between these lines. I don't understand the lines. I don't understand why it's called In Plain Sight, but I think they are a very good way of breaking up just this craziness in the background. The next one is Injustice. I'm gonna put that in, I guess, bro. And I'm gonna say that because I like this sort of yellow diamond thing where it makes you focus on the center. But in the center are 3 bullets. And I really hope they're meant to be bullets, because I'm not sure what Tyler Catastrophe was thinking when he chose the colors for the bullets. If you can understand what I'm saying. There is a very big lack of detail in the bottom 2 corners. In the top 2, I think they are grapes or something, which it's very heavy on the top and middle. I saw this painting in a TikTok of Tyler Catastrophe's, and the 3 bullet middle piece was cut out. So I don't know if he like did that to the original painting to get rid of the bullets, but it's not there, and I'm not sure where the bullets have gone. I hope they haven't gone where I think they have gone. Lost and Found. I think this is cool. I think I would consider this. I enjoy looking at this. It's you know, it's just like an eye that's kind of looking at you. I'm not sure what Lost and Found is meant to mean, but I like the color. I like the color scheme. I think it's a very cool piece. I like this rising lines that sort of come up from the bottom of the painting. And again, it's sort of an eye that kind of looks over at you. It does remind me of Bill Cipher. It's kind of like putting Bill Cipher on your wall from Gravity Falls. Anyways, again, Lost and Found. Don't understand the piece. The next one, Despair. Now this one, I found it very hard to understand. I have no clue why there's flowers coming out of this central flower area. The shape of this blue centerpiece is strange, but I am assuming that it is meant to represent insecurity, and this area is the waist, hips, thighs area, and in the center there is the crotch area. Now I think that's what the flowers are covering. Is this like a sensor bar, like the crotch area? It is, you know, it's meaningful in that sense. But I do think there's a lot of detail, and I think it's the flowers are the thing that pisses me off about this the most. It's just the flowers that are just up there, and then there's one on each leg, but they're not in the same place. They just kind of come out for no reason. I'm going to put this one in, I guess, bro. The next one is Life in Retrograde. This one, I'm putting that in Wallworthy. I heavily enjoy this one. I feel like the one thing is it could blend, like you could blend the 3 shades of yellow together. And also I'm not sure how it relates to retrograde. There's nothing really seeming like it's going back and retrograding, but you know, I think I would put that on my wall. I would definitely put it on my wall 100% if it blended a little bit more, but I think the not being blended kind of gives it something, I guess. Next one is going to be Now You See Me. I'm putting this one in yikes because I don't get it. I don't get it. Again, with the repetition, there's only red on the bottom, which feels strange. I don't know how to feel about that. I don't know what Now You See Me is meant to mean. Maybe it's because it's a very contrasty, like, grayscale in the front, colors in the back. I don't know. It's not fun to look at. It's just, it kind of induces a sick feeling, but not horribly. I'm not sure how to explain it. I'm just going to move on. We're going to Overexposure. Cool little rhymey name. I'm going to put that in, I guess, bro. The colors are not the greatest choice. I understand what they were going with the whole overexposure thing. It's pretty simple. I feel like there's the black just at the bottom could be put in other places. But as I said, it's simple in, I think, both good and bad ways. Like, with the abstract stuff previously, it was very detailed in certain spots and then kind of simpler in other spots, which that is good for this one because it is simple, but then again, it is simple, so it is just like, it's very easy to see certain gaps of things, if that makes any sense at all. The last one. This one is called Technoblade Never Dies. I'm sure everybody that is watching this video that knows Tyler Catastrophe will know this painting and what is happening behind this painting. I'm gonna put this one in the yikes category. I take that back. I'm putting it in, I guess, bro. Technoblade, helped many people, was an inspiration for many people. Rest in peace. But it brings it down so much when...
I'm trying not to be biased by the story behind it, where he wanted to force it into someone's hands, but it eventually went to the father of Technoblade, which is nice, and apparently Technoblade's dad was nice about it and was very nice to Tyler Catastrophe.
Anyways, the shading is horrible. I will say that. It is extremely flat. It is like, it's just, there's no distinction between how far the sword and pillow is from the back wall. The Wither Rose, this little pixelated Wither Rose, is a very cool addition. I like that. Again, like the other one earlier, the stained glass is splotchy. And again, stained glass is typically segmented into much smaller bits. So this long strip of purple stained glass on each side of the sword, not sure I understand. Another thing, I don't know why the sword is going into the pillow. I don't think they do that a lot, but it could just be a thing where the crown's on the pillow and the sword's in something behind it. And the last thing is not making fun of Tyler Catastrophe here. I'm not bullying the art. I think people who do art are, very dedicated people, because art isn't an easy thing, and especially when you're doing paintings. And I can tell that he's poured his heart and soul into these paintings, taking 9 and 7 and 100 months to make these paintings. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Okay, love you, bye.